All right, calm down, everybody. We're on the radio right now. Apparently, AI misrepresents news content 45% of the time, according to a new study. Or as CNN put it, that low? Double exclamation question mark. Hi, everybody. I'm Kenny Webster. Thanks so much for watching us live streaming today. We are also on the radio. If you're listening to us on the radio, you could be watching me right now with Ethan Buchanan, who is in studio as we speak. Ethan, how, you're not even old enough to vote. What are you doing here?
I am old enough to vote.
Didn't you tell?
What am I doing?
Didn't you tell Tony Ortiz of CurrentRevolt.com that the way you vote on the props is you just flip a coin when you walk into the...
I did tell him that. Yeah, that's my big scandal. So that we've got 17 different ballot propositions, and I figured I had two options. I could do the responsible thing and actually research and vote accordingly, or I could just bring a nickel with me and flip it each time, and that's how I decide.
Why a nickel? Inflation's that bad?
Inflation is horrible. All I can afford is a nickel.
And what even can you do with a nickel? Tony Ortiz is actually on the line right now. We didn't have him in studio. We've never done this before. I've never live streamed with somebody on the phone. So I got this AI-generated image of a Mexican in a sombrero. Tony, it doesn't look anything like you, but it's going to have to work.
Yeah, it's going to work. It's my people's, it's the image of my people, so I like it.
All right, Tony, let's start off with this. First, can you explain to the audience, who is Brian Slayton, and why did you see his cowboy boots this weekend?
So Brian Slayton is a former state rep that was technically removed, and I think he was the first state rep to completely removed from office via unanimous vote since like the 1920s or 1930s. But he was removed because he had had a sexual relationship with his staffer, his 19-year-old staffer, and provided her alcohol. And this is all while he was married, by the way. And of course, and so yeah, he was removed, and so he's been out of office since. And we got a tip the other day that his soon-to-be ex-wife, because they're going through a divorce, boots with her name on it are for sale in El Paso.
With her name on it? I thought it was his boots.
With her name on it, with his last name, and the Texas state seal, cowboy boots.
All right, so she wasn't in the legislature. Why did she have a pair of custom? It was, okay, it's the Texas state seal. When I first saw this online, I thought it was the Texas legislature. But it's just the Texas.
Well, it says Texas House of Representatives on it.
So it is.
I assumed he may. Yeah, I assumed he ordered her some custom boots. I reached out to him for comment, and he didn't respond. But it's safe to assume maybe he ordered her some custom boots, and maybe he never gave them to her, and he just decided to offload them since they're going through a divorce.
Okay, I want to do a many people are saying segment with you on the air right now. I don't know anything about how Brian met his wife or soon-to-be ex-wife, but many people are saying, fill in the blank, Tony.
Yeah, many people are saying he got her off the internet. A while back, somebody had sent me alleged photos of her online Filipino dating website profile, and so yeah.
Now
she's you can't fault her. It's not her fault, or anything wrong. You gotta do what you gotta do these days, and he I guess he was shopping around on the internet and decided to click the buy it now, and
Now, in the studio right now is Ethan Buchanan, a journalist. Ethan, you're in an interracial marriage. Yeah. Is it okay to talk about this on the air?
Yeah, no, we're fine. My wife's not watching, so it's okay.
and is your wife is of the
she's of the Asian
persuasion. Yeah, me too.
The Asian persuasion.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Everybody on the show except for me right now is married to an Asian?
I got to tell you, you're missing out, Kenny, because I don't know if you know this, but there is a Facebook page called Libertarian Guys with Asian Wives. Gosh. It's a common theme I've learned since marrying. Us libertarians, whatever it is, have an affinity for plucking women out of communist Asian nations and marrying them.
But Tony, you're married to a Japanese, right?
Yeah, I'm not into the jungle Asians really. My wife's Japanese, so.
Do I dare ask what he means by? What do you mean by that, Tony?
I don't mean anything. I'm just an innocent man asking
He's like, what are you talking about, Kenny? I didn't say that.
All right, let's get back to the auction. So over the weekend, there were two auctions. One of them was for Brian Slayton's stuff, and the other one was for Mayor Sylvester Turner's stuff. Any other good stuff from Brian Slayton's auction this weekend?
Not that I saw. We just saw the boots. And, again, in his defense, no idea how those boots got there or whatnot. Again, I reached out for comment, and he didn't give a reply. But as far as I'm aware, it's only the boots that are for sale. Okay. And maybe his love. He's maybe back on the market again. So maybe if you're a 19-year-old girl and you're looking for a slightly overweight white man, he's in the market for you.
Thank you.
By American standards.
By American standards.
I mean, in the Philippines, I gotta think he'd be the biggest guy in the country. They'd make him king. They'd worship him like a god, probably. Right. All right. Let's get off this topic real quick. Houstonians lined up over the weekend to purchase pieces of city history at the estate sale of Sylvester Turner, Houston's former mayor and congressman. The sale, hosted by Town and Country Estate Sales in Southwest Houston, featured Turner's personal belongings, including clothes, shoes, furniture, and artwork. So what are the odds, Tony? This weekend, you could have acquired not only the boots of Brian Slayton or his wife, I guess, I don't know if they're the same size, but also Sylvester Turner's cowboy boots. Boy, it's my understanding some guy wanted the boots from Turner for a cowboy boot museum. What would you even call that exhibit? Fake cowboys? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's an opportunity here for somebody to buy up all these like weird Texas political stuff and like open a museum.
Yeah, how about that? Ethan, you're a collector of cowboy boots. What great Texas politician, modern day or past, would you love to own a pair of boots from?
Oh, gosh. I would love to own a pair of Sam Houston's boots.
Oh, man, that was going to be my answer.
Yeah, I stole it, so I'm sorry.
Did Sam Houston own cowboy boots, do you think? Did they?
I mean, they probably weren't the modern-day traditional cowboy boots, but, I mean, they were boots.
According to AI, I hate to crap on your idea now, it is highly unlikely that Sam Houston owned or wore what we recognize as cowboy boots today, as they did not exist during his lifetime. He died in 1863, and the cowboy boots became a thing in 1883. How do you like that? Tony, who would you have picked? Tony Ortiz. Did we lose Tony Ortiz? Tony? I don't know where he went. I feel like he's still on the line. All right, well,
he's just listening to us.
We'll try to get him back.
I'm back.
Oh, there he is.
Back.
That's okay. Where'd you go? Did you hit mute by mistake?
Well, I had to hop in the car, and technology can't decide what it wants to connect to. So.
Is that what happened to you? Okay. Well, anyway, I'm glad we got you back, Tony. Which celebrity politician, Texas politician, modern or past, would you love to own a pair of boots from?
What's the name of that obnoxious club?
What? What does he say? Your phone's cutting out.
I don't know.
We're having a hard time with Tony's phone right now.
While we wait for him to get back, I'm going to correct your AI correction. Here's a picture of Sam Houston's boots on display. They're real. They're out there.
How about that? You found a picture of Sam Houston's boots in the San Antonio Report. That's amazing. Tony, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I want Valentina Gomez's boots.
Oh.
Valentina Gomez.
Does she count as a Texan politician?
Stop listening to the government and start listening to the truth on Pursuit of Happiness Radio with Ken Webster Jr., a.k.a. Producer Kenny.
All right, we are live streaming right now, but we're also recording segments for this afternoon. And while we're doing that, Tony Ortiz is here right now to tell you why CurrentRevolt.com is a great news website you should subscribe to. Go ahead, Tony.
Actually, we're a horrible news website. We've got nothing but gossip and drama and political tidbits here and there. So if you enjoy political news that's on the bleeding edge of breaking news, you should subscribe to us. If you enjoy seeing petty information and gossip, you should absolutely subscribe to us. And if you're a Texas politician, you're basically required to subscribe to us.
And what is the website, CurrentRevolt.com? What is the website for CurrentRevolt.com?
Yep, www.currentrevolt.com.
So it's not just a clever name. All right, stand by. We're going back on the air, everybody. All right, get this. Today is National American Beer Day, which is a good day to remind Americans to make sure they're drinking enough water, I guess, right? I'm Kenny Webster. We are on the line right now with Tony Ortiz is here from CurrentRevolt.com. Ethan Buchanan is here. Ethan, I'd like you to lead us off on this next topic. Ethan Buchanan is a weekend host, KTRH news reporter, as well as a KPRC radio weekend talk show host. He is a Zoomer, and you are apparently one of the white supremacists that wants to keep the Alamo the way it is?
Yeah, I want to preface this with, I know Tony's here on the line. I know he's of the Hispanic persuasion. So
Mexican. He's Mexican.
I don't want to offend him, but scoreboard, suck it, we won. But yeah, so there's this narrative that's been very prevalent since really 2020 when, you know, all of a sudden we decided that slavery was the most important thing in all of North American history. But there's been this narrative that the Texas Revolution was fought over slavery. Now, here's where they get this. There were a lot of slaves brought over from the United States by Anglo settlers into the Mexican territory of Texas. And so some brilliant scholars have decided, okay, well, since that happened and Mexico did not allow slavery because it was a very Catholic nation, clearly that's why the Texans revolted, which is stupid because you can look right now, go to the Texas State Archive, go dig up a copy of the Texas Declaration of Independence. It's not hard to do. Okay. And just do a keyword search. Search the word slave or slavery. It appears 0 times.
It does not ever appear in there.
It does not ever appear because it doesn't matter. There's a couple of easy ways to refute the claim that the Texas Revolution was fought over slavery. Okay. 1, it's not in the Declaration of Independence at all. 2, Dr. Amos Pollard, who was the chief surgeon at the Alamo, he was the garrison surgeon. On top of being the garrison surgeon for the Texian Army at the Alamo, he was also a published abolitionist. Now, I don't know a whole lot about the history of published abolitionists in the early 1830s.
It was complicated.
I would have to guess that if your whole thing is you oppose slavery, you wouldn't volunteer to be the surgeon for an army fighting to preserve slavery. I could be mistaken, but I'm fairly confident that I'm not. And so we keep having to have this debate about whether or not we should turn the Alamo from a shrine to Texas liberty into a shrine to Texas slavery. This keeps coming up, and it requires just, frankly, absolute historical illiteracy to push this point. But we keep seeing it push, and I think it's stupid, and it pisses me off.
All right, I want to hear a Mexican's take on this, because after all, we are nothing if not diverse here. And we have a Mexican on the line right now. His name is Tony Ortiz, CurrentRevolt.com. Tony, people who are advocates for your community and your culture are saying that we need to include more in the story of the Alamo about slavery and indigenous people and that sort of thing. And, you know, your people were pretty heavily involved in the whole Alamo story. What do you think about this?
I really don't care about all of that. You know what I want to become a thing? You know how politicians go to Israel and they kiss the wall and they take a photo op there?
I've heard about that. Yeah.
I want Texas politicians to be forced before they run for office to go to the Alamo and kiss the Alamo wall.
Wow.
Yes. That needs to be a thing.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, you did this. You took an AI generated image of an American politician kissing the wall in Jerusalem, and you changed it so that they were at the Alamo. And huge if true, right? Some people actually thought the AI generated image you created was so good, Tony Ortiz, currentrevolt.com. Some people actually thought it was real.
Yeah, it was Ivanka Trump, and people thought it was real. I think it got 2 million views. It was kind of insane.
That was pretty impressive. So I guess we've seen this kind of revisionist history before. As an Italian Catholic, I'm sure you guys already know what I'm about to say. Christopher Columbus Day. But for years, we acknowledged, okay, he wasn't perfect. Maybe it was a little complicated, but he never owned a slave. You give them an inch, they take a mile. Next thing you know, Indigenous Peoples Day, they're tearing down our statues. People always forget the reason we celebrate Christopher Columbus Day was more about the fact that he was a folk hero back in the early 1900s, back in the early 20th century. Italian Americans, Catholic Americans were harassed and terrorized by the Ku Klux Klan. And then my people latched onto the story about how an Italian American helped bring people from Europe over here to the West, which was so important at the time to the white supremacists and the nationalists and what have you, that, surely we deserve to be part of the story. And in doing so, although it took a long time, Italian Americans were eventually accepted as a part of the American culture. In fact, some would argue it wasn't really until 9/11 happened that we were eventually considered to be white. I think we're still exotic whites, right, Tony?
Italians? Yeah. I think the left calls you white, and your skin's pretty white, so I think you just get the pass by default.
Ethan Buchanan, you're named after Pat Buchanan's your dad, right? Isn't that your uncle or
something like that?
And he wrote a book called Death of the West, which was all about how importing immigrants was going to destroy our country. As a not too distant relative of the author of that book, how do you feel about what we're talking about?
Well, there's this narrative that it's almost like how do I say this?
Are you going to say something racist?
The indigenous people have, been elevated by the left to this godhood status because of how terrible and victimized they were by the white man, by the immigrants, et cetera, the evil Europeans. And I would just like to say for the record, I regret nothing. Sure. I apologize on behalf of my people for nothing. You sat on this land, this continent, for, however many thousands of years. And all you were able to come up with was some pyramids that you roll bodies off of after you decapitate them and rip their heart out alive. I am not going to sit here and apologize for coming into this country, getting you to quit doing that, and then building a successful society, multiple successful societies, except it depends on how you count Mexico, but they used to be kind of successful-ish. And, we have the United States. It's undisputably the greatest nation in the world. We have the Republic of Texas, which is undisputably the greatest former nation in the world. And all of that came because European settlers got here and said, you guys are doing disgusting pagan rituals and building nothing. We're going to give you Christendom and, brick houses. And now we're supposed to look and feel sorry about that. The answer is no. I'm not sorry about that.
Well, I can't feel sorry about something that I didn't do that happened hundreds of years before I was born. But I will say this. There were Native American, indigenous groups, whatever buzzword you choose to use to describe them, that seemed to be nice people that were participating in agriculture and were relatively peaceful. There were also some who participated in cannibalism, the Iroquois, the Algonquin tribe, the Aztecs. Some of them participated in human sacrifice, the Cahokia, the Natchez. Some of them were involved in torturing of captives. Again, the Hurons, the Iroquois. Infanticide is the Inuits were involved in that, and I'm against those things. I find those to be bad. Tony, your thoughts on this? Which of these, the indigenous people, 80% of them died because of disease, not necessarily because they were killed by the white man, but these were diseases that the white man brought over here. How much responsibility do you bear for this burden?
I love white people, man. White people are awesome. I'm just glad to have been born in America. I read a statistic the other day that there was like a 30% chance you could have been born in India, which could have been an absolute disaster. So I'm just glad. I'm just glad for everything that's happened leading up to the point that I live in America.
Well, yoga. They've got yoga in India. You're not into that, Tony?
No, I'm not.
What about the Cow Dung Festival?
Okay, quick break. We'll be right back.
It's never too early to learn that the government is a greedy piglet that suckles on a taxpayer's teat until they have sore, chapped nipples.
The Pursuit of Happiness Radio on AM 950 KPRC.
Hey, if you're watching us live stream right now, I don't have to explain to you what's going on. You're watching us record some segments that'll air later this afternoon on KPRC Radio. Tony Ortiz is on the line from CurrentRevolt.com. I'm Kenny Webster. Some of you might know me from here, from this radio show or the morning show or, stand-up comedy, that sort of thing. Today, I will be the keynote speaker at the Houston Young Republicans event. And sadly, that we cannot disclose the location publicly because in the past, people who hate Jews have gone to extreme lengths to try to endanger the lives of some of the speakers at these events. If any of you think I'm being hyperbolic, I'm not. Amy Peck is a member of the Houston City Council. She's a Jewish woman, and while she has no strong opinions about Israel, a group of Palestinian activists showed up not long ago, earlier this summer, and basically tried to terrorize this tiny, petite Jewish woman to the point where the people at the group no longer felt safe. So if you want to go to the event today, we're not trying to play victim here, but DM, you have to RSVP with the Houston Young Republicans group. I'd imagine if you message them on Twitter or Instagram, that'd be the quickest way to go, or you could contact Courtney Trevino. We're going to get back online here in just a second with Tony Ortiz from CurrentRevolt.com. But first, Ethan, don't you have a podcast and a radio show to promote?
There it is. The Next Gen Report, wherever you get podcasts, it's the Next-Gen Report. But we're also on YouTube now. We do a video podcast, and I also post it to my X page at _Ethan Buchanan, Buchanan. It's a quick dose of everything political and cultural. It airs Sunday at 7 p.m. on AM 950 KPRC. You can listen to it on the radio or on the free iHeartRadio app. And it's a great time. We have fun.
I love it. All right, everybody, we're going back on. Stand by, everybody.
Can you hear it?
This is fun. A Japanese company rents scary-looking people to help you confront bullies. Or you could just tell bullies, hey, I don't want any Thin Mints, little girl. Get away from me. Knock it off. Get out of here. Ethan, you've been there before, right? You've been attacked by Girl Scouts.
They're a disease, man. They come after you. There's thousands of them, and they just throw the cookies at your face and then raid your pockets.
And apparently there's a lot of corn syrup in those cookies.
I wouldn't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they're shelf-stable cookies that are being sold in front of a Kroger parking lot. I'd be surprised if there weren't.
Remember when some Girl Scouts got into trouble because they were selling Girl Scout cookies in front of a pot dispensary? Like, these little girls are geniuses.
That's brilliant.
All right, on the line right now is Tony Ortiz, CurrentRevolt.com. Tony, I know we only have you for a few more minutes. You probably got to run shortly. But real quick, there's a story today about a state senator in Texas who has been sleeping in his office in an effort to prove that he is a resident of his district. Can you first explain why he's doing this? I mean, it's probably obvious, but is this the law now?
Well, this part is old news in the sense that he ran for office in this district and claimed that he lived, in order to qualify, he claimed he lived in his office, in his work office. He owns a trucking company, so he claimed he worked there, and that qualified him to run for office. And he faced some lawsuits over this. Ultimately, he won. He got the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick endorsement, of course, and he ultimately won. And so people sued him, and now they're trying to recoup their costs for this lawsuit. And we posted some updates on his story, and yeah, he's reaffirmed that he both showered and did day-to-day activities, his words, in his corporate office space. And it's just very absurd. And of course, in the state of Texas, when it comes to politics, people don't care where people live. You can run for office anywhere and live anywhere. And it kind of doesn't get enforced. These rules that require you to have residency don't actually get enforced in the state of Texas. It's kind of a horrible thing.
All right, I will admit the memes at CurrentRevolt.com are always great. This one's particularly funny. It's a guy in his office bathroom showering. There's another one where he appears to be sleeping under a desk. He's running for Texas Senate. Who did these cartoons for your website, Tony Ortiz?
That would be Tommy with the assistance of AI. We have no art skills here, so we just throw a prompt into AI and it pops out garbage. It's great.
You also have something on your website today about Dick Weekly. Now, Dick Weekly apparently does not like me because I have made fun of his name many times, and that's not my fault. I didn't name him Dick Weekly. That's totally on your mom and dad. I don't bear any responsibility for that. But, Tony, what does Dick Weekly have to do with this story?
Dick Weekly is a satirical comic that we made about Texas politics, and it comes out whenever we feel like it. Unfortunately, it's not weekly.
Wait. This isn't about Dick Weekly. What would you describe him as? He's the one that runs the Texans for Lawsuit Reform, TLR they call it. But you're just using his name, or it's a take on his name for your currentrevolt.com has a satirical comic that's called Dick Weekly.
Yeah, it's the Weekly Dickings, but it has nothing to do with Dick Weekly.
It's just horrible.
Tony, I am just now learning about this, and I have to tell you, I'm immediately a fan. That's great. So there's a picture of a guy on the cover, and he looks really tired. Is that the state senator?
Yes, that is. That is indeed the state senator, yeah.
When is the last time he took a nap, Tony?
Well, I don't know. I imagine sleeping in your office isn't very comfortable, so who knows?
I will say, there has been talk in the legislature in recent years. I know State Senator Paul Betancourt had voiced some kind of support or interest in the idea for taking a lot of the unoccupied, open commercial office space that we have here in the United States and here in Texas and transforming that into residential buildings in order to meet some of the housing deficit. So I think this guy's just ahead of the game, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something to be
said. It
said.
might be. And, I support that. I support that movement. We need more permanent housing, no more apartments. We need more permanent housing for sure.
A little while back, switching topics here for just a minute. A little while back here in the Houston area, our state took over HISD. You're familiar with this T, they call
Very
it. If
familiar.
I'm not, something similar is happening up in your neck of the woods, Tony. In accordance with state law, the Texas Education Agency is taking control of Fort Worth Independent School District following unacceptable academic ratings. T informed Fort Worth ISD on Thursday the state will take over the district because the school had 5 consecutive years of unacceptable academic ratings. Some are saying they're dropping the T bag on Fort Worth ISD. People discuss this up in the Metroplex there, Tony.
Yeah, the left is really upset about it. The right, of course, is happy. The Fort Worth ISD has been a disaster for a very, very long time. And finally, we're getting some accountability back via the government, which, you'd think the left would love this. The left loves big government. I don't know why they're so upset about it.
The other thing the left used to love, but no longer does, is school choice. Especially black Democrats. If you went back 10 or 15 years, Sheila Jackson Lee, Al Green, Sylvester Turner, rest his soul, they were all big fans of school choice right up until the teachers' unions got involved, and now they're not. Now, well, 2 of those people I just mentioned are not even alive anymore, but that's a recent phenomenon. Now black Democrats hate school choice now that it's become a Republican thing. You, Tony Ortiz, you're kind of a rare one because you're somebody on the right that doesn't like school choice either. Why is that? Tony, did we lose you? We did lose him. He's gone. He got disconnected.
Many such cases.
Yeah, you're right, many such cases. Well, what do you think about school choice? You can answer for him. What would a Mexican say? Do it with the voice, Ethan.
God dang it.
Don't do the voice. No, I don't want to ruin your career. If anyone's going to do racially insensitive accents of Hispanic people around here, it'll be me, Kenny Webster.
I can do a good Trump, but I can't do a good Mexican.
Let's hear your Trump.
We love school choice. We need everyone to pick their own schools. Frankly, schools are terrible. We need more competition. It's a monopoly. It's a government monopoly. We hate monopolies. Unless it's a golf monopoly, then it's my monopoly, and I love it.
That was actually pretty good.
It's about the cadence. It's not so much about the voice. It's about the cadence.
Right. It's not about that. No, yeah. I get it. Yeah. It's not about how high or low you go with the tonality.
Just get the cadence and then the voice comes later.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I could do 3 Hispanic accents. I can do field worker. I could do handsome, like the romantic guy who's like he's here to finesse your wife, and then I can also do cholo from Los Angeles, which I'm told by many Mexicans is not a racial slur, although I thought it was. Apparently cholo is not a racial slur.
I can do Mexican radio host.
Let's hear it. Go ahead.
Hola, señores, señoritas. That's it. That's all I can do.
That's pretty good. You have to say Telemundo.
Telemundo.
I always notice they always kind of talk like a vampire.
They're very passionate people. That's what it is. It's
Telemundo.
passion. And the vampires are passionate too. That's they've got to get, the white chicks.
Vampire seems like a good costume, Halloween costume for your kid. If you have a gay kid and you don't want people to know he's gay, you could dress him up as a vampire. It's like, is he gay or is he just a vampire? He's a vampire.
He's just well-dressed and wearing makeup, like all vampires and homosexuals.
It's a good point. Thank you so much for that, Ethan. I'm glad.
Dear future employers, everything I have ever said is a joke.
I'm glad we haven't offended anybody with this show today. I'm Kenny Webster. We lost Tony Ortiz, but that's okay. He probably had to go anyway, and we're almost out of time. Ethan, if people want to check out your podcast, where do they go?
Anywhere you get podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Give me a follow on Twitter @_Ethan Buchanan, Buchanan.
I love that. And I'm Kenny Webster. I will be the keynote speaker this evening at the monthly Houston Young Republicans meeting. We would love for you guys to be there. As always, this radio show airs every day live from 3 to 4 p.m. You can catch us live streaming throughout the day and every morning on dozens of radio stations all over the country. I am a humble, modest part of the greatest morning show in America, the WJ Radio Network. Y'all have a good one. We'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning for more of what you bought a radio for.
You are listening to the Pursuit of Happiness Radio. Tell the government to kiss your ass when you listen to this show.